So in the past, I actually created videos on spirituality and how you should actually practice it as a beginner. So in this video, I will be sharing the benefits of spirituality or having a spiritual practice. So before I start the topic off, Pranam, Namaste. My name is Garret. My mission as a life coach is to help people realize their infinite potential by tapping into spirituality, the law of attraction, and Fengshui. I'm very blessed to be trained under a Himalayan yogi who's taught me the ways of the yogic teachings as well as spirituality, which is the whole umbrella of life. So before I start the topic off, please make sure you guys remember to hit like, subscribe, and comment your learnings in the comment section below. It's also nice to know where you guys are tuning in from so we could connect in this space, okay? And I'm dedicated to make 4 videos a week to spread more light and positivity out there to the world. So please make sure to stay tuned, okay? Without further ado, let's head into the topic, okay? So when we talk about spirituality, a lot of people might, like I said before in my past videos, they will get misunderstood. They will understand that spirituality is just a practice of religious practice. This is actually just more than that, because understand that when we practice religion, it's a lot more of practicing rituals, okay? And rituals itself, understand spiritual as SPI in front of rituals. So you can't be practicing a religion, you can't be practicing a spiritual, a religious practice or religious ritual without first understanding your spirit body, your spirit embodiment, which is the formless self within you, okay? And in our daily context right now, we've so much so identified with ourselves, which is the identity of the I, which is the ego as well. We've identified ourselves so much, and we try to take identities of different bodies and different people. We want to be like somebody else, and we lost touch with our self-identity, okay? And we haven't even found our true identity. That's where spirituality comes in, you see. So having the first understanding of spirituality is to first know that you need to come back self, come back to home, okay? Come back to your formless self. Then with that understanding, then you'll be able to have a full and clearer understanding of this lifetime, why you are here, okay? So that's the whole big idea of spirituality and why you should practice it, okay? So now let's talk about the visible or the visible kind of benefits that you're gonna likely get when you practice spirituality, okay? So in terms of spiritual practice, what we like to say, like I mentioned in my past videos before, the first thing that most yogis embark on is we are taught to tame the mind, okay? So know this, we are a fantastic creature, and in fact we are the most fantastic creature on earth if you compare it to other form of creatures on earth like bugs, insects, animals. We are in fact the most powerful creature on earth. Because why? We got this thing, we got the mind. However, in fact, if you were to compare, you will start to look around the fascination of the world, right? You look at all the animals, okay? And you will start to realize that animals, just like ourselves, if you consider yourself as an animal, why would you want to compare yourself with an animal, right? Okay, but think about it. Just compare yourself with an animal. Animals, like whenever they hunt for food, the moment they get agitated is when they are hungry. And we as humans, if we don't abstain ourselves, if we abstain ourselves from food, right? If we certain times we are out for a meeting and we can't get food, we get really agitated, right? So the body gets very upset without food. So, and the only time that you see an animal being at peace, at zen, in the most calmest period is when they fed themselves. So that is the first point that you could see similarities of us with animals, okay? Then point number 2 is that animals choose to eat, sleep, reproduce, and die. So if you come to the common understanding of this, you will also see the same rhythm in human life. You see us humans like to eat, sleep, reproduce, then die. Okay, there's no significant hoo-has in life. So if you view it in that level, then you're most likely gonna see that it's kind of sad that we as a human fascination, okay, the most fantastic creature on earth, we have evolved through millions of years, in million kinds of evolution throughout the millennium, okay? that we have finally evolved from a single cell all the way up to this human body, physical form. Okay, and the mind has evolved through all the forms as well, that we have actually reached this to this extent that we are able to create such a modern world, technology. So all these fascinations out there, and then you realize that the human mind is something that cannot be controlled. We are ruled by our own emotions. We are ruled by the anger, the negativity, the jealousy, the jealousy out there, the shame. Okay, we can't control it. And the worst thing is, most of the time I hear a lot of people say, they ask me, hey Garret, how can I meditate when my mind is always constantly having thoughts and things like how can I stop my mind from thinking of things whenever I try to meditate? Firstly, don't think. The thing is that the mind is a wonderful tool. You see, it is something that has beautifully evolved through evolution. Why would you want to make it stop? So the problem about us is that if we can't take control of this thing, then this thing will take control of us. It's just like your hands. Take for instance your fingers. Okay, your hands. If these hands can clench and can close and can hold stuff, can write, right? What happens if it doesn't obey to your instructions, and when you want it to close, it just doesn't close? Is this hand still useful? This hand is no longer useful because it's not obeying your instructions. It's not listening to what you want it to do. Same thing for the mind. If you get angry just in the state of people trying to trigger you, then you get upset. Then is the mind controlling you, or are you controlling the mind? So this is the first benefit. When you practice spirituality, the first thing is to learn how to tame the mind. And when you tame the mind, a lot of things fall into place nicely. Because why? You negate all the negativity and you become selective on the emotions that you want to feel. Most likely, a lot of times you might be choosing the positive emotions than the negative emotions. Because why? And in some ways, you might even turn a lot more neutral, and you become a lot more close to oneness because you incorporate everyone as a part of you. So this is the whole big idea of spirituality, the whole benefits of it. And you no longer want to compare yourself with others, because you deem that you are also a precious work of art from the universe and creation itself. So there's no need to compare. So there's a lot of things that you can benefit from practicing spirituality, and just a short video itself can never cover so much. But I can share certain golden nuggets, because I think that I've been trying to get a lot of people on board spirituality, but in our modern days context, right, a lot of us wants to know the benefits in order for us to do it. Then whenever they know the benefits, then next they hear about what should I do. I should stop eating meat. The moment they hear I stop eating meat, then they immediately get turned off. So things like that. So you need to first understand, because the body will always have doubts, and the body will always have questions. The body will always want to know what is the ultimate truth, right? It will always be uncertain, you see. And how are you able to take control of your life without having this whole seeking of truth? The mere fact that most people they struggle with in life, with the anxiety, the stress, the anger, with all the negative issues that's running through their life, and they're always gonna fall into the same cycle. Because why? They haven't found the true way to resolve it. And the only true way to resolve it is not through external means, it's through internal means. And spirituality is just for you to delve deeper in, so that you could solve all these demons within you. You see, because through our growing up from a childhood all the way, we've already experienced a lot of programming, and we've experienced a lot of traumas throughout this life, and healing itself is required. And a lot of times when we go to school, or we put ourselves into institutes, right, or go through courses, but no courses, I would say, especially in school times, you are not exposed to teaching how how you should be taught how to control the mind. How you are not taught to how should you actually manage your emotions, how can you manage the negativity, the frustrations, the stress. You are not taught of all these methods, and you're not even taught in the most simplest method of how should you focus or concentrate. People or teachers in school are always telling you study, but whenever they tell you, when you make a lot of noise and you play around in school, they will just punish you. However, they fail to realize that nobody has actually taught you how to focus or concentrate. How would you know that? Because the mind is something like that. You don't know what you don't know, and you know what you know. So somebody needs to actually teach you that. So same thing, practicing spirituality is just so much so for you to start rediscovering yourself internally. And when you seek the answers outwards, you will start to go and look for your own answers. You will find your true guru. Of course, you will start to look for teachers, gurus, all the spiritual masters to come and guide you. However, the true guru is within. It lies within us. And the teachers or the spiritual masters out there can actually teach you 101 things, but your guru within will finally be the one that dissects everything, and how devoted you are and how much practice that you follow would actually see the whole ultimate outcome. Of course, the whole main ultimate outcome for spirituality is to ultimately leave this place, transcend to a higher ground, no longer wanting to come back as a human form again. Is even way beyond just going to heaven, because if you go up to heaven, just view it as another perspective. You go up to heaven, another dimension. It's just gonna be problems again. The ultimate outcome that we want is liberation. So which is no longer having to come back as this form again, formless. Okay, so understand that we want to be spiritual is to first understand that there's a lot more benefits than the visible eye itself. Okay, and if you are not embarking on this journey, and because of certain temptations, that means you're still being held bondage by certain things. And as soon as you start to identify yourself with so many things in life, all the temptations, like be it I identify myself as a parent, or I identify myself as a daughter, and that's why a lot of religious practice, especially in Buddhism, Buddha itself has also mentioned before, saying that the route to end the root of suffering is to practice detachment, where they finally detach from every identification. So spirituality is basically understanding this and putting it into practice. You can have goals and dreams in life, and you're most likely going to attain it at a very, very fast speed. Because why? Spirituality, once you know how to control this mind, control this tool, okay, once you control this function with the intellect that you've learned throughout the years, you focus all your emotions only on positivity, and you're just going to negate all the negativity. Law of attraction will start, and you attract more of these good things into your life at a very fast pace. And when that happens, you're likely going to attain what you want in your life. Then you will most likely be asking yourself, what's next? Okay, and when you have the power and the capacity to help people, that's where you start to give back to society, and everything will fall into place nicely for you. But the most important aspects of spirituality is so that you could go back home. Okay, so I hope you learned something from this video, and if you do, please make sure you share your learnings in this comment section below. I would be creating more videos in the future in a more format of throwing out golden nuggets, because I realized that I feel a little bit more free flow when I do this form of sharing, rather than trying to write it down in notes, coming out in point forms, or which one should you practice, which one should you practice. I think golden nuggets would be a good way to start for most people to actually understand, because do it more like a preaching. Okay, so with that, I end out this video. Pranam, namaste.